Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. This is for week 27. Dates include July 2nd through July 8th and all my reading shenanigans in between. So if you'd like to see what I've been up to this past week, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so this was a productive week, not as productive as I wanted it to be, but I did get some stuff accomplished, and so you'll be seeing some stuff coming up this week that I'm really, really excited about. But let's just dive right in. I got a few things to talk about today. So the first book I did complete entirely was Heather McCollum's Highland Beast. It looks like this. I did talk about this in my last weekly wrap up, but I was not 100% finished with it. I finished it earlier this week, so now I actually have my score for it, and I did give this a 3-star. This is the 4th installment to the Sons of Sinclair series. I originally thought it was going to be the last installment. And based off the end of the book, I still think it should be the last installment. I don't really know where she's gonna go with the 5th book that's supposed to be coming out sometime the end of this year. So I don't really know what's gonna happen with that, but I guess we'll see. And this was an audiobook done by Timothy Campbell. We have graphic sexual content, death of an infant, and domestic abuse. A quick summary, we follow Boss Sinclair, the youngest of the 4 Sinclair brothers. He is the youngest, but he is by far the most deadly, as he is the executioner for the clan, and he is raised as the Horseman of Death, so the final horseman from the biblical story, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And then we also follow Shauna Dermond, I think is how you say your last name. She's a midwife who took her sister's son away to protect him because her sister had an affair and had a child, and her husband, who happens to be another clan leader, is very abusive and just basically total douchebag. So she takes the son to try to save him because she knew that he would not accept another man's child. Boss encounters Shauna and rescues her, and they start to form a little bit of a friendship. And it wasn't until Shauna went back for her sister that she was kidnapped by her sister's husband and sentenced to death, which then brings Boss back into her orbit, as Boss is sent, as he's the executioner, he's asked and sent back to execute her. When he finds out that it's Shauna, he can't. He also knows that the charges against her are completely false. She's being charged with murder of her sister and her son. And he knows damn well the son's fine because he's back at his house with his brothers. So he's kind of stuck. And this leads to declaring war on this clan against the Sinclairs, which starts a series of events that just throws our hero and heroine together multiple times, and definitely shows that there is more the Horseman of Death. There's more life to the Horseman of Death than there is death. So, what worked? The plot line twists. This one took me for a surprise. I knew based off the previous installments kind of how the heroine was going to be kind of the opposite of what the Horseman was representing and what our hero was representing. But the way it came about definitely shocked me. I did not really see that twist coming and how it was displayed. And I really actually enjoyed that. I did enjoy that a lot. I had a good time with it. It definitely kept me on my toes and kept me engaged because it was not the foreseeable conclusion. So I was really excited about that one. We do get to see more of the previous brothers in this installment. We get to see all of them kind of in action, and all 4 of them together. And we also get more of Hannah, the sister, which I'm wondering if that's where the 5th installment's going to come into, because we get nothing in this book about where the 5th installment could go. And to be perfectly honest, in all the other installments, you don't really get who the next horseman is that you're going to talk about. You don't get that the second one is going to be Joshua in the 1st book, but you know it's going to be one of the brothers. So based off that criteria, I think it's going to be the sister, but I don't know how we're going to tie that in. So I am excited about that, but I did get to see her more in action. I got to see all the spouses with their kids and all the brothers back together, kind of, being the Horseman of the Apocalypse, but yet not being the Horseman of the Apocalypse, because they've all changed and grown and, broadened their horizons. So it was nice to see that actually stayed. That wasn't just for the book, it stayed throughout the continuity. So I really, really enjoyed that. I love the parallel that McCullum gave us with that you can't have life without death and you can't have death without life. The secular element in the story. There's a really good scene of it where Boss has to go, basically, he doesn't execute the man, he sits with him while he dies. He basically sits with him as he's dying, and Shauna comes with him. And then shortly thereafter, Shauna brings in a child to the world, a surprise child instead of twins that they weren't aware they were going to be having. So, and there's a line that Boss says, "It's balanced." And I love that because it's back to the old adage where one door closes, another opens, and that whole belief that when somebody leaves the world, another soul's brought in to kind of take its place, that the souls never really go out of balance. And I really, unless it's, a huge, out of God's hands catastrophe, natural occurrences have that belief with it. And I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was great. I loved how that was shown. And it was shown that death is not always scary. Sometimes it's welcomed with open arms and it's embraced by the person going through it and the family that's left to mourn. People often constitute death as being sad and depressing and scary, but it is a fact of human life. It does happen. And just like every other aspect of human life, you go through it and you move on. The only difference is the person going through the death isn't moving on and in a visible way that we can see them. So all we can see is what the aftermath was. And I really enjoyed how they showed how beautiful death could be, how peaceful it could be, how memorializing it could be. I am not about sanctifying dead people that were bastards. Like, don't fucking do that to me. I think that shit's stupid. But when the person was a good person and they stood for something and they had people that cared about them and they had a legacy, whether it was really small or really big, remembering them for that, I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was great the way she displayed that, and then showing the beautiful scene of what it is when life comes in the world. I've never birthed a child, so I don't actually know what that beauty feels like or looks like. But I have been around people who have, and it's a beautiful thing. It is, and I loved seeing how they were identical but yet different in their own way, right side by side. And then you get to see them embodied with our hero and our heroine. I thought it was fantastic. What didn't work? Okay, so this one has the longest wait of the sex scenes. Longest wait at 50%. That's when you finally get a sex scene, and it's really not the greatest. Like, it's a good scene, don't get me wrong, it's a good scene. It is, and it fits this couple. However, it's just not as punchy as it should be at 50% of the book. Like, come on. Like, you're talking, this is the girl that got married on Halloween and is slightly morbid and obsessed with morbidity and mortality and stuff like that. Like, that stuff intrigues the fuck out of me. So I wanted to see the Horseman of Death get it on a whole lot earlier than I wanted to see the Horseman of War. But the Horseman of War gets it off in like chapter 2. But all the other books are like slowly but surely. It's like, damn it, this sucks. Give it to me. Like, Bass actually ended up becoming one of my favorites because I loved his demeanor. I loved his character and how much he loved animals and how, he never killed an animal with a name, and he befriended a squirrel and he named her Betty. Of all things, her name was Betty. I just thought it was adorable. I was like, that's so fucking cute. I really enjoyed his character, so I wanted to see him have that emotional fulfillment, which was a little bit difficult because he had the biggest stigma to overcome. So I understand the wait for the sex scene. It just kind of sucked that I had to wait because he was kind of becoming my favorite. I'm like, feeling bad for the guy. I'm like, kind of sucks. So there was this one thing that was really irritating. And I just don't know how it actually comes to pass. I don't know how that could actually happen. It's made very clear that Shauna gives Bass his first kiss, but he's been with a female before, but she didn't kiss him. She was too scared to, but she slept with him. What? Okay. That annoyance never went away. I just thought that was kind of silly. I really didn't need that being his first kiss. Maybe his first sexual encounter, make it one of those, would have been fantastic, because it's very clear in the book that he learned how to please a woman from his brothers. His brothers gave him all the tips and tricks and making sure that the girl comes first and the secret nub to entice and different techniques. He knew all this from his elder brothers. So the education was there. Maybe having a first-time experience would have been better for this, other than, you know, hey, I'm experienced with girls and I'm great with sex, but I've never kissed anybody. What? That's not believable. That was just not believable. I know it's a book, it's fiction, but still, I'm like, that, you could have done that as a first-time experience and it would have been better. I would have enjoyed that. I would have enjoyed that a lot more. And there was this weird thing about trying to change his name. I fucking hated that. I hated that. Yes, I know his name means death, but Shauna had this huge fucking issue with it. It's like, lady, stop. Like, stop. No. Stop trying to change his name. He doesn't have a fucking problem with it. He doesn't care about having his name changed. For the most part, he thinks it's kind of stupid. But she just kind of kept harping on her. When they called him boss, she's like, he's not deaf. Stop saying that. That's his fucking name. Okay? That's his name. Like, there are tons of crazy ass fucking names out there and people just embrace them and part of their personality. Your name doesn't define who you are. At least it doesn't have to. And in this book, it was a clear statement. It doesn't have to define who he is. And that's what she should have been harping on and enforcing on, not changing his name, changing the perception of his name in people's eyes. That's what she should have been changing, and she wasn't. She was trying to actually physically change his name, and it was dumb, and it was stupid and pointless, and I didn't like it. And I was kind of annoyed by her, and I was like, I like you, but you're kind of pissing me off right now, so stop. It's annoying. I only gave the spice rating on this book a 1.5 chili peppers. That did not change. There was 50% is for the first sex scene. 50% of the book, first sex scene. Are you kidding me? And it wasn't that potent. It was good. It was good for the couple, but it just wasn't potent enough for where it was placed at. It needed to be stronger if it was gonna be at 50% of the book, especially after building Boss up as much as you did. Like, come on. Give him to me. Give him. But we did get to see oral performed on a woman and the request of a woman on top, which I thought was really cool. That was a position that he wanted to try. He wanted to watch her and enjoy her, basically essentially using him as a fuck doll. And I thought it was great. I thought that was great. I always enjoy women on top because, you know, enjoy the fucking show. Enjoy the fucking show. You know, it's great. I think that position's fantastic in books, in real life, and what have you. I think it's great. So I was very happy to see that that was a requested position. So it was nice. I did see movement in this. We do have moving from outside to inside, and the movement was done really, really well. I enjoyed that. I knew where everybody's hands and legs and arms were, which was fantastic. I enjoy that. That's a thing of mine. And it was easy to understand. And it was a severe movement. It wasn't moving from like one side of the room to the other. It was, we're in a lake and I'm gonna carry you to my cabin up some fucking stairs and still keep you enticed and keep you turned on. And I was still very much engaged in that scene when it was going on, and then we get the big scene. So I thought that was really great how the movement was incorporated into that scene. So if you're liking longer sex scenes that are not just extenuated kisses or extenuated, you know, licks and smacks and stuff like that, but you actually get some like movement and progression, I thought that was great. I thought they did a really good job with that one, for sure. The next book I completed this week was If I Were Yours by Ella Jacobs. I gave this 3 stars, and I have a full book review. It will be linked up here when it gets uploaded. It's already filmed, but I just haven't uploaded it yet. But it will linked up here when it does, so go check that out. This is the second installment to the Not Yours trilogy, and I did a full book review on the first one, Not Yours to Keep, as well, and I will link it here as well and in the down box below. So this is a BDSM why choose component with gagging and spankings, humiliation, breath play, sadism, masochism, highs and lows of subspace. We also have an age gap of 11 years and 22 years. I think is what the age gap is. Hold on, let me double check that. Let me just double check. Notes. 11 and 20 years. And we also feature dubious consent in this as well. there's a lot in this book, a lot. So this picks up right where the first book left off. I mean, literally picks up, Gregory has put Clara to bed and he's walking back out. Like she just kind of kept cutting, like writing the book, and she just cut it right there and ended the first book. Like it's picked up right there. But we follow Gregory, Clara, and Marcus. Clara and Marcus are already in a predetermined BDSM dynamic relationship where Marcus is the dom and Clara is the submissive. Marcus is an opera singer and Clara is a piano student. He has included Gregory into the dynamic because Gregory is also a dom, and Gregory happens to be his best friend and also a famous conductor. In the first book, he has Gregory give Clara some piano lessons and also dom her. And Gregory in the first book has some serious issues with aftercare. It sucks. It's not there, but he can get you in that subspace and he can get you there. This book is him coming back and realizing that I fucked up, I can do this, and him spending basically 2 weeks with Clara by herself to see if they can make this kind of trifecta dynamic work, because Marcus has to go out on tour and he can't be there for Clara, and he knows she needs somebody to watch out for her. So Gregory goes home with Clara, and that's where our story really kicks off, because I mean, it is, they walk in the fucking door and he tells her to take her clothes off. I mean, it's right like that. It picks up, damn. Like, what the fuck? I felt like I was reading a whole different author, because it was like right out, it was right out the gate. We were not holding anything back. Gregory got her alone on another fucking continent, and it's like, you're mine for now. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. Get your clothes off, get in bed, let's fucking go. And it's like, what? Except Gregory's a lot more smoother and dominant than that, but it is like right out the gate. And throughout this story, Clara is really starting to see what it feel like if she really belonged to Gregory. And you start to see Gregory want to own Clara and struggle with never actually really being able to 100% dominate her the way he wants to, because her primary dom is Marcus. But you see Marcus kind of pawn her off onto Gregory most of this book because he can't do it because of his job. So you see this tug and pull between these three of Clara, who is she supposed to primarily listen to? Gregory knowing that she's perfect for her submission is perfect for his level of dominance and his intensity, and Marcus knowing that Clara's submission is beautiful and amazing and being in love with her, but knowing he can't actually give her what he wants, and fighting because he's in love with her. Just this huge fucking triangle of emotional nonsense, but it was awesome. It was great. Had a great fucking time with it. And it isn't until a divide is revealed when the three parties come together for a sexual encounter that you really get to, they all three realize there's a fucking divide here. We can't not acknowledge the elephant that's in the fucking room anymore, and we need to work this out. And then we have this emotional turmoil throughout the rest of this book. And Clara is left to make a choice between the dom she loves and the dom that she desperately needs. So, what worked? The continuity in this book was fantastic. I was given just enough information that I did not have to go back to the previous book to review or be reminded of anything. I thought that was great. I love that when you have trilogies that you don't need to go back, because that really pisses me off. I really don't like having to go back to understand something. If I choose to, because I want more clarification, because I personally think I need to review it, that's one thing. But if I physically don't understand it because they didn't give me any semblance of anything, that's not cool. But Ella Jacobs does a really good job of giving me the continuity that I need. This one doesn't suffer from the second book stigma. There is a lot of action in this. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of plot development in this. So much so that I actually don't know where she's going to go with the third book, because it wraps up. Like, I don't know really what stone she left unturned, unless we're going to go further into certain dynamics that I'm intrigued by, but I don't really know where she's going to go with it. So definitely not a second book stigma to this. We got to see more perspectives. The first book is told primarily from Clara's perspective, which is a true submissive. So being a pretty dominant person myself, it was kind of difficult at times to read that book. So this one, we got more of the perspective of Marcus, and I really, really enjoyed that. I liked having a little bit of that thrown in, kind of taking me out of this kind of submissive brain set that this entire book is told from. I thought that was great. We got to see Clara be more vocal about her person, which I really did enjoy. We got to see her kind of stand up for herself a little bit, which I always enjoy. This one was heavier on the spice by far. Holy shit. Holy shit, this one was heavier on the spice. Lots of new, like we saw some new BDSM techniques we didn't see in the previous book. They were referenced, but we didn't see them. We got to see the fear of trying something new in the bedroom with your partner. A lot of people who try new things in the bedroom, they all experience this, like this trepidation, like, am I really gonna like this? Am I not? And then you get to see the fear of, I kind of like it, but my partner doesn't. How do we breach this? How do we talk about it? How do we go about making each other happy? We got to see conversations like that. And I really, really enjoyed that. I love the fact that Clara was given a choice in this book. Although it was emotional chaos for her, I enjoyed that she got a fucking choice. What didn't work? There was an overarching fear element that was given to some of the sex scenes. Grigory is a sadist, and you can be a sadist without inducing fear. And in my personal opinion, he was inducing more fear than was what actually necessary. So it kind of tinged some of these sexier scenes for me. And that kind of unnerved me a little bit. I was like, that's annoying. Because you see him successfully be a sadist without the fear element. But then you see other scenes where he induces the fear element. And the fear is something that can be arousing and erotic, but it didn't seem like that's the way it was coming across. It seemed like he was enjoying it a little too much just to be a sadist. Like, it just didn't sit well with me. The amount of fear he needed to induce. He was already very dominant in presence. He didn't really need the extra added layer of the fear element to it to successfully get his point across. And it didn't really sit the best with me. There was some other things that didn't work, and I will go into full depth of all of these in that review, so go check that out. The extreme ownership of Grigory owning somebody didn't really look that much different, except there was whippings involved and a really odd branding ceremony. That was really the only real difference I saw, and the way it was built up, it was gonna be far more. And it might be because we didn't get enough of it. I feel like if we would have gotten more of his extreme dominance and his total ownership, I would have felt more like, oh yeah, this is a totally different person. We only got half of him. It didn't really look that much different. It looked like he had a better space to do what he wanted, to be perfectly honest, with it. The main thing that didn't really work for me though in this book was that in the first installment, there were times where I felt viscerally, like I had a visceral feeling for this story. Like it made me uncomfortable because of the headspace that she kept putting me in to read this book, and you had to be in to understand and relate to Clara as a submissive. This book lacked that. I never felt genuinely uncomfortable reading this book. I never had that visceral feeling of like, what in the fuck is going on? I don't like this feeling. I didn't have that. And I missed it, if that makes any sense. I didn't realize I was excited about that, feeling that again. And when I didn't get it, I felt kind of like deflated. So this one didn't have that impact that the first one did for me. And that was kind of depressing because I was really, really excited for this one, because although I felt like I had a visceral experience with the first book of being uncomfortable, I was taken care of. This one, I didn't have that visceral experience. I had a lot more spice, which was great. Don't get me wrong, that was fucking awesome, but I lacked that emotional component in this book that I got in the first one. That whole body experience. And I was really looking forward to that because I haven't had an author, very few authors give that to me. And Ella was one of them that gave that to me. And I was like, where is it? That sucks. Where is it? So that was a little depressing for me. However, I am not going to lie to you. I was turned on through pretty much the entirety of this book. This book got a 4 on the Chili Pepper rating because there are so many more sex scenes and they are so fucking intense. And there were multiple times I had to put this book down. So maybe, yeah, I had a visceral reaction, just not the emotional visceral reaction. I had a erotic visceral reaction to this book. There were many times I had to stop and just be like, I'm gonna go take care of some stuff. Give me a minute, thanks. A lot of them. Holy shit, were there a lot of them. I mean, we got so many new scenes with multiple BDSM techniques in it. We got sadist and masochistic side techniques. We unlock the masochistic side of Clara in this book. We have dirty talk and humiliation. We show humiliation as the form of masochism that Clara can tolerate in the beginning, and then we start to see her grow as the story progresses, experiencing more and more of this. Breath play, thank you, love that shit. We also got to see new tools and scenarios that really stretched our hero and heroine's boundaries. Both heroes, they were stretched. Because we saw Marcus do some stuff that he usually doesn't do. But he did it. And he was like, oh, I guess she is kind of cute when she looks like this. Like, what? Okay. All right, party. It was a good time. But yeah, go check out that review. I will have it linked in the down box below, and it was also linked in the corner. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I will go in depth of all these things, plus more. There is more that I didn't even go into. So you definitely want to check it out. I did start this book. I'm not finished it. I'm about 50% of the way through. I'm actually more like 65, actually, if I want to be honest. And it's the 3rd installment of the Montana Mountain Men series, Kept by a Mountain Man by Gemma Weir. Yeah, I came back to the Alpha Men guys. Yeah, I did. I missed my Barnett brothers. I missed them. And this one is an audiobook. I did not write down who is doing the audiobook, but I will include it in my notes when I finish it. We have, so far, graphic sexual content, obsessive alpha male, because, you know, all the Barnetts are like that. And we have some mental health representation. And I am still trying to really discern what kind of kink is going on or what kind of sexual relationship dynamic we have, because there's a couple theories forming. So we have Alice and Granger. That's who we're following. And Granger wants all of Alice. He wants to possess her. He wants to own her. He wants to keep her, hence the title Kept. He wants to do everything for her. And Alice thinks that she's toxic because she's super needy and she's super clingy, and she's coming from a background of doing that, and the person that she relied on just up and leaving because it became too much. Her older sister, who basically kind of raised her as her own, joins the army and leaves her, and she realizes that she just pushed her away with her neediness and her closeness and her lack of doing things for herself. So for like the last 5 years, she's been 100% on her own, completely closed off. And she's opening herself up to Granger, who's literally saying, give me everything. I want everything. And she's like, you don't understand. I'm fucking crazy, dude. I'm fucking nuts. There's one scene that we've gotten to that she's cleaning out her RV and he leaves to go get coffee and donuts, but when she comes out, she doesn't know he's gone. And she literally has a full-blown fucking panic attack because he didn't tell her he was going across the street. And both of his brothers are there and tell her that. Like, oh, he went to get coffee and donuts, he'll be right back. She doesn't believe them because she's so, like, she can't survive without this person. So when I was trying to figure out what kind of relationship and dynamic this was, I immediately thought it's some form of BDSM, because there is that kind of component with these books, this property, this ownership, this, you know, all time, no space, no time. We're together all the time, constantly touching, all this shit. All the Barnett brothers are like this. Like when they see their woman, it's no holds barred. You're mine. I don't give a shit what you fucking say. This is how we're doing it. Party, deal with it. Let's go have sex. You know, that's how the Barnetts are. But this dynamic, it's almost like a pet play dynamic without the animification of the person. Alice is still remaining a human. She's not acting like an animal, or the refusal of speaking. Like he wants her to fucking speak, and she's not speaking at all. But like just the constant care, like they do everything for them. Everything. It also is really similar to like a daddy and a little concept without the titles. She doesn't act like a little where she has to dress like a little girl and keep her pigtails and everything, but he picks her up and carries her to the dining room table. He feeds her. He plans things. He wants to learn to blow dry her hair so she doesn't have to do it. It's almost like a princess level, but he's not daddy. And it's just, I'm still trying to work it out, okay? It might be a smorgasbord of all of these. So when I get further through the book and I get more cemented of what kind of relationship we're getting, because this is what they're talking about having. It's not really what we're seeing. It's kind of what's being forced on her, and she's fighting it, but she's talking about this is what she wants, but at the same time, she's like, I'm not a child. I could do this for myself because I've been doing it for the last 5 years. So it's like, where's the happy medium? Once I find out what that happy medium is, then I'll be able to more like fine tune what kind of kink we're talking about in this book. But I'm having a good time with it. The sex scenes are not as intense as the first two, at least the ones we've had so far. But I'm only like 65% through, so we're still working through it. Still working. But that is what I've worked on this week. I'm also still reading Curse. I have like 100 pages left, so you're gonna be seeing this review really soon. I'm super excited. I got some stuff to talk about. I've got some stuff to say. Just saying, got some stuff to say. So, yeah, so you're gonna be seeing this really, really soon because I'm almost done. And, yeah, really, really excited because you'll see. But that is what I've got for you this week. And to find out what book I will be reviewing for my TBR, I left a poll on my community tab last week, and today is the final day for it. So the votes are in, and the winner of that poll is... Really? Okay, that's not the one I expected. I'm actually really surprised by that because that was not the winner as of like yesterday. Because I checked this yesterday. So the winner this month for the book that's getting a review is Sierra Simone Sinner. Yeah. Are you guys really ready for that? I'll talk about this guy all day long. You might want to make sure you get like a whole, like, you get a comfy chair for that one. That video's gonna be long as shit. I can tell that right now, and I haven't picked up the book yet. Just because that's Sierra Simone for you. So, all right, well, that's what I got for you guys, and I will see you guys all soon with another video.